Hi, everyone. This is our Rock the Bar meet and greet by RAQISA. And I am Soraya. I'm excited to host this. And I have with me Joelle and Tyra. And many of you are fitness enthusiasts, interested in our program, have maybe taken our program, but this is really meant to be an opportunity for me to share with you who we are as a brand. And hopefully you can get an idea of where we're going with it and how you can be a part of it. I will start off by doing a screen share, and I'm going to try to run through them as quickly as possible to share a little backstory on this program and this brand in general. Then Joelle will go with about 15 minutes of her time, and then Tyra, and then we'll open it up to a QA. Sound good? All righty, so good. All right, so I'm going to introduce you, just a little video clip here. So as you can see, this is where bar strength meets oriental dance grace. I started this as early as 2013. My mom had passed away, unfortunately, as I was developing this, but I wanted to come up with a very special program that I felt would be authentic to me. And so I called my aunts, Aunt Marcel and Aunt Wadad, and they said, well, you want the word RAQISA, because I wanted a word that would evoke a class and elegance and grace, well, all the while keeping true to the authentic belly dance techniques. So I wanted to create a program for women by women. I absolutely cherish my belly dance students, our time together. So I really wanted to create something extra special. It's a brand for women by women, and RAQISA means female dancer in Arabic. And it was the first dance genre that I personally was introduced to, and it certainly has been the first dance genre that I have introduced to my daughter. The first time I ever saw any type of belly dancing movements, I can remember I was 3, and a woman named Zuzu came to visit us. She was from Lebanon, and she had gorgeous hair and did these beautiful movements, and I was mesmerized right away. So in my mind, as far as I was concerned, I was belly dancing at a very young age, listening to Middle Eastern music. My background is actually theater arts. I have both my bachelor's and my master's in the theater arts. I wanted to be a professional actor. I'm a Screen Actors Guild member, worked with big cover bands in San Francisco. Really have enjoyed that journey, but I've always loved fitness. Fitness has been a big part of my life as well. I was an athlete every bit as I was a thespian. And so really creating this has been a perfect merging of the two. Since 2000, I became a certified professional, group fitness professional. I teach aquatic fitness, I teach muscle conditioning, boot camps, bar, dance, a little bit of everything. Like many of my fellow fitness professionals who are also instructors with this, we just love working out. So I developed the Rock the Bar program in concert with the RAQISA brand in general, but it became an accredited program in the year 2017. That means that it's accredited and approved as a continuing educational provider in the world of wellness. Little history, backstory. My mom and dad were married in Beirut, Lebanon. My mom was born and raised in Beirut, Lebanon, and my dad was in the Navy when he met my mom in Beirut. His job in the military, in the Navy, was as a linguist. He learned Turkish and he learned Arabic, and he has embraced the culture as his own. And what's something kind of fun fact is my mom, 10 years older than my father. She earned her college degree at Baylor University in Texas. So she actually had already been to America and was a working woman. And together they raised 5 kids, and I am the baby of the 5 kids. We were all born in different countries. Layla was born in Massachusetts. Tanya was born in Scotland. The twins, Sidonia and Butch named after my dad, were born in Beirut, Lebanon. And then I was born in Spain, and we just traveled the world as a military family. And a big influence in all of our lives, even my father's life, has been our mother's influence. She really has been a big part of introducing authentic Lebanese recipes. Keep in mind, we're a Navy, so we traveled a lot, and sometimes the resources were limited. They didn't have all the ingredients like they do nowadays. So she came up with a lot of great twists based on what resources were, but we absolutely adored her. And really this brand was in dedication to her memory, her elegance, her class, her intelligence. I see this as a brand for women with intelligence. And there I am, the baby, and my sister Layla is choking me. And this was in Beirut, but then afterwards we came to America. So both my parents actually did have a background in education. And so all 5 of us kids kids actually love learning, and they were really big on breaking down information so that it can be accessible so one can understand it. And when I started teaching belly dance classes in the fitness settings, I realized how unfamiliar many are with the fundamental basic belly dance movements. And that was when I created the visual aid and started really developing it early in my fitness career in 2000, and actually had it patented and printed onto a mat so it can have dual purposes. It's a mat, and then it's got the visual so I can help my students understand. It comes with the balance plate to help understand how to isolate the movements in the hips. It's really honestly been a labor of love. It's been what I feel has been an opportunity to just share who I am, my culture, what are these basic fundamental movements, and how can we bring this to the world of wellness so that it's accessible for everyone. So RAQ the Barre instructors, I highly recommend they have their own, use their mat also for their barre tribe, because that's really what this is about, is really about you finding your barre tribe to share this method with and get them excited about it as well. So I always like to introduce to you Jim, because he's been a big part of my journey from the beginning when I really started. If you can see the product in that one picture of me standing, it was black and it was a prototype. We were still in the process, and he's my friend. I'm big on loyalty. Anyone else out there, always stick with your same hairdresser, same nail place, maybe you're like me, loyalty. I like to say we've come a long way, baby. This is my husband, Kevin, in this fun picture, and building this brand of, like anyone can imagine, your family is involved in it as well. So in 2014, I started doing events, mother-daughter events, particularly because I was really trying to harness the opportunity to encourage my daughter to see herself as beautiful using the language that is a part of our RAQISA brand. I would do events at Athleta. I teach group fitness classes at the Kingsbury Club in Medfield, which is what I would call my home club. And right in 2015, I started to create an entire online platform. And then we discovered that my dear husband had a brain tumor. And so life took a very fast pause, as you can imagine. So, chemotherapy, no work, staying home, no driving, but it was really just a great time just to, gather as a family around each other and just encourage each other and just kind of go moment by moment and live life and gain perspective, because I think all of us will go through times in our lives, and it's really our attitude and how we approach it, right? So great news, Kevin's doing fine, he's great, and healthy, doing very well, and as handsome as ever. And my son and my daughter are a big part of this brand as well. Very important for me to exude elegance and class, and again, I cannot drive that point enough. So things that I've learned along this way, teaching belly dance classes in a group fitness settings can be very challenging, because participants come to a group fitness setting to work out. They want the burn. They don't want to have to think too much. So when I would teach my belly dance classes, maybe you would get the first round very large numbers of participants, but then after that, the size would dwindle down. And that's pretty frustrating, because when you're hired as a group fitness professional, they want clients, they want numbers. It's one of the reasons why Zumba does so incredibly well, is they really keep it simple. Well, belly dance is so detailed, so intricate. And I'll be honest, in my heart, I don't like to dilute it. I like to really layer in authentic techniques. And I love to share choreography. So the best solution I came was the RAQ the Barre program. This way I'm layering in essential belly dance movements in an approachable way, so everyone can feel successful. And at the same time, if I bring them into one of my belly dance classes, the foundation has been set, their alignment, their muscles. It's really been a win-win situation. Now, here's the part that's interesting. When I started to teach it at the Kingsbury Club, my director was fantastic and let me really kind of build the program. I called it Belly Barre, and I didn't get participants come in. They thought they would have to move their bellies, show their bellies, and they were uncomfortable with that. I called it Belly Dance Barre. They thought that they would be belly dancing, so they weren't comfortable with that. When I called it RAQISA Barre, it was, what's RAQISA? They couldn't say it. And so it's really been a challenge. So I called it Cardio Core Barre, and I got a huge group in. Guess what? It was the same workout. It was exact same workout. Bar fitness, belly dance technique. I just changed the language. So finally I had a huge following, loyal following. And I finally said, listen, can I be honest, you guys, this is a bar fitness belly dance technique. And I noticed you didn't stay when I called it this, and that. And you came for cardio core bar. And I really am looking to stay as authentic to this brand as possible. And they all knew my product was, you know, the RAQISA logo. And I said, help me come up with the name, because I want to be true to this brand. So we came up with Rock the Bar. They said, this is fun. I love it. It feels like cool. It's approachable. Those were the words. So the tagline is bar fitness, belly dance technique. Now, when I teach for Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare, I do high-end clients for, they don't want maybe that word belly dance in there. So I just call it Rock the Bar. I just say, this is Rock the Bar. We're taking ancient movements and conditioning our body from top to toe. When I teach my belly dance class, we're teaching bar fitness, belly dance technique. So there are ways to take this in a way so that it works for your target audience. And that's really important. And in time, when you've built a relationship, then you can do what I do and say, hey, I'm teaching you belly dance technique. So I'd like to introduce you where bar came from. I think it's really important what bar is and where it came from. So push this video on. I'm going to have them both. You'll be hearing Lottie Burke share a little bit of method in concert. I'd like you to watch this beautiful dancer. We only know her name is Fatima, and just watch really quickly.
Hello, I'm Lottie Burke. I have created my exercises to help you to achieve a useful and shapely body. There is no need to be shapeless. You can be plump, but be shapely plump. Your muscles are there to be used. And if you want to keep a useful figure, exercise must become a part of your daily routine. Nothing comes in life, but with a little effort, you can have a beautiful body. Look at dancers. They have beautiful bodies. That proves you must exercise every day. You must become aware of your body. Think what happens to your muscles if you don't use them. They seize up and make you shapeless, and you become full of aches and pains. If you work hard enough, you will become your own corset. Your clothes will hang beautifully, and you will look terrific, and of course you will feel wonderful. But in order to be a firm and shapely body, you must never stop exercising. The exercises will have an added benefit for back sufferers, as the rolling in exercise relieves backaches and makes the back stronger. The exercises also help to ease tension and traumatic pain.
You can imagine for Lottie Burke, this pelvic tilt must have been very different for her, because ballet, she's a trained ballerina, is keeping the movements really in the extremities, whereas the torso is still. So really these ancient movements with anterior, posterior pelvic tilts go beyond that. There's slides, there's twists, there's internal, external circle. All of this is good fitness. It's good for our body. So it makes total sense for me anyway, from a wellness perspective, to layer this seamlessly into our bar fitness progressions. So we're breaking at the joints, and I love her heart. I love her bar community that she developed. I love that she really is all about just staying healthy and fit. And this is really the truth about this. So we're taking authentic belly dance technique and the wellness benefits that come to it into our bar fitness progressions. And keep in mind, bar with Lottie Burke's era was not bands and balls and weights. It was more just body weight only exercises. So really bar has evolved and grown to meet really our modern day wellness needs from that end as well. So how do I help the communities? I love to continue to share this method of wellness. This is Samar Haj. She's a longtime family friend. She was talking about nutrition. My sister Layla was talking about weight loss because she had lost weight and keeping a healthy mind. My other sister did gift bags. This was in Monterey, California, actually a wellness event, and I was going to do it again, but next time. But it's, just another way that I really like to build community and really keep it all about fitness. This is all about fitness, just women, just being with women and talking about our health and how we can take care of our bodies. Longevity. Other things that I've done in the past are core and lean challenges for obvious reasons. We're all at home, just ways to keep each other motivated. These are small little things that I like to do, and I encourage those who are certified to teach to also look into methods to do this with their bar tribe. Ways I'm getting this out there as a fitness professional, because I do want to build quality instructors. So I have presented at various fitness conferences, the SEW Mania and the World Bar Fitness Summit, which is where I actually met Tyra. You'll be meeting Tyra. And it's really been a great way for me from a fitness perspective to help share this as a modern day wellness solution. And this is Siri. I met Siri actually at the SEW Mania.
I fell in love with Rock the Bar the first time I took a class, and I immediately signed up to become an instructor. What I love about the format is it gives you all the amazing fitness of bar, the strength training, the endurance training, combined with the hip movements, combined with a little bit of dance aspect, which you can dial up or down as fits the classes that you otherwise teach. I use a lot of the Rock the Bar methodology and movements in classes like total body conditioning, Pilates, and high intensity interval training, in addition to the Rock the Bar classes themselves. I hope you'll join our wonderful community of instructors and take the training.
And Siri is a master trainer because honestly, she took this method and really mastered it, for lack of a better word. You know, if you know Siri, you'll understand she's the type of person, when she takes on something, she goes all the way. Siri actually is a presenter as well. And so actually just last year we were together and we were on stage. So in addition to presenting the bar fitness program, I obviously like to provide belly dance classes, conference topics, and sometimes they have like a dance off. We'll do some dancing. So I taught her a bit. So keep in mind, Siri was trained in ballet. She was not trained in belly dance. And I think she does a lovely job. So that was just last year. Now, keep in mind, you do not even need to know how to belly dance. You can be here and say, I really want to learn essential fundamentals and really learn how I can bring this to the world of wellness. This is very important because maybe this is you. Paula is one of our master trainers too, and I actually work with Paula at the Kingsbury Club, and it was really great because pre-quarantine, we respected each other as instructors, but she never got to take my class. So I was doing Facebook Live. She took it. This is great. Oh my word. I totally get where you're going with this. I get it. This is great. And so she joined me as really an educator to help support me so that we can grow this. Our hope is to expand into aquatics as well. I think it would do very well, but really she helps provide additional content as far as the fitness component, because I'm not going to be a belly dancer. She says she's not interested, but she understands that motion is lotion to the joint, postural alignment, expansion. She sees the benefits. Then I have lovely Joelle and the lovely Becky, and both of these lovelies are dancers and professionals in the world of fitness, and they understand dance conditioning. So this is the perspective that they're bringing. So really there's room for everyone. The idea is to find your bar tribe, who it is that you would like to target, and how can you create these essential fundamental movements as a part of a wellness solution. For me, I teach belly dance, and other fantastic belly dancers are also teaching this method for their belly dance students. So Ava Brenna is in California, and Chris Ames is actually in New York City. She's a new certified instructor, and she's already teaching her belly dance students the Rock the Bar program to help with their conditioning for their belly dance classes. So it's really a great marriage between the two. So I've really been honored by the support of many professional belly dancers to see the benefits of this. But again, this is for everyone. This is for everyone. A lot of people take my program. On here right now is Karen and so many other wonderfuls, all ages, all levels. You know, it doesn't matter. It's really for everyone. And it's my job to make you successful in your workout. But the reason why I want to introduce Carolyn to you is because Carolyn is a physical therapist. She loves this program because she understands it from a physical therapist perspective.
Hi, Hi, my name is Carolyn. I'm a physical therapist and I've been taking Rock the Bar for over 5 years. What I like best about Rock the Bar is how you get a total body workout, strengthening your arms, legs, and core, as well as gaining flexibility. Rock the Bar has helped me to improve my core and hip stability as well as mobility. In addition, Soraya is an amazing instructor with a wonderful energy and a great playlist.
Having a great playlist is really important. So that's part of my job with our instructor training, by the way, is really teaching you how to teach this method, how to line up your music, where the wow factor, because remember, I have my master's in theater arts, so I'm all about edutaining, education and entertainment, right? So this is really a big part of it. But meanwhile, your students, they just want to have a great experience. They want to leave feeling like you totally conditioned their body, at the same time provide a wellness benefit. And I truly believe in this method from that perspective. So if you're here because you do want to do our instructor training, please allow me to let you know my job is to see you successful. So Taya will really be expanding on this component. And like everyone in the world of quarantine, I've had to instantly transform my training so that I can really make sure you are successful. So let me explain how that works. So when you do invest in our instructor training, right away when you purchase it, you will be given the digital instructor manual, digital downloads for you to keep, and then you'll also be giving a link to our instructor course. Now, it is a live Zoom class, but this link is going to be a support course. It's meant to really help me because there's so much information, so much content. It's a place for you to kind of review ahead of time, but really dive back into afterwards just to provide digital support. Because remember, my background I have a lot of teaching background. I get it. I need extra support when I'm learning. So I feel like this has been very thorough. So my advice is to print and read the manual and just review the online course. I've got expanded belly dance basics in this course. I've got, in addition to the at-home workout, there's a sample in-class workout so you can kind of see how it would work with mounted bars. I've got a little bit more expansion on teaching methods and how to work with music, because really working with music is really what drives your students. It comes with 32 count Arabic fitness music, because my hope is that you do want to teach this and you can practice working with it. So it's really going to be an opportunity to really flesh out your learning so you feel much more supported and you can return back to it and continue to kind of review it. It takes about, after your training, I recommend 3 months to do a instructor testing, if that's what you want to do. And I only say that because the content stays fresh in your mind, but I certainly am willing to expand that time. I get it. We're all in a different places in our lives, but the actual course payment is really the 8-hour Zoom course. If you're a fitness professional, you will earn 8 hours of continuing education credits and you'll get a certificate of completion. But if you really want to become, hey, I'm Rock the Bar certified as an instructor, then you will definitely want to take a test, which would mean showing me a sample of you teaching, so I can ensure that the content has landed, that you understand what the content is, that it makes sense. Very important to me to represent this brand in a way. So there's an annual optional, if you do want to take the test, licensing fee, because I care about the integrity of this name, and it simply is saying, hey, I'm gonna keep it classy. If Soraya's mama looked at like this, she would say, this is okay. This represents, this really is very important to me. So that's why I spent the extra time to do that, because I care. I want my son to scroll through and feel that mama has a good brand, and my daughter. So this is very important to me. And I'm sure you can understand. Yes. So options, if you want to have your own bundle, this is highly recommended. It'll help you. Do you have to have it? If you're just coming for the continuing education credits, no, you really don't. But I highly recommend it. It'll really enhance your learning. And if you definitely want to teach it, you'll definitely want it. Another option for Joelle and Becky, for example, they teach in dance studios. They bought added balls and bands just so they can have it. But you don't have to have that. This is just for example. Okay, it is time for me to shut up and introduce Joelle and Tyra. So let me just come out of stop share and then again, write any questions that you might have.
Okay, cool. I'll take it away. Hi, everyone. My name is Joelle, as you know and saw. I am a master trainer with RAQ the Barre. I first met this brand and community back in 2014 when my mom actually took me to the mother-daughter belly dance class that Soraya had at our local fitness club, the Kingsbury Club. And ever since then, I really have just been drawn to the brand, clearly, and now I teach it. And so at that time, I was in college. So during the summers, I would be back and I would take Soraya's class, started off with the belly dancing, but then went to the Barre program. And so it's really been amazing to see the growth way back from 2014 to where we are here today. As Soraya briefly mentioned, I am coming at this from a dance background. So I've been dancing for 22 years now, mostly specializing in ballet, jazz, lyrical, tap, point. So definitely came from a very studio technical based background. I did not belly dance before 2014. And as Soraya mentioned, the name of the program is quite important because I even was a little intimidated when I was like, I'm going to a belly dance class, like I'm not comfortable with that. But at the end of the day, what made me more comfortable is that I love technique. I love things with technique, learning techniques, and seeing how you can develop and evolve and challenge yourself through different dance techniques and music. I'm very connected to music. I just feel like if a workout class doesn't have music, I don't know, sometimes you go to different classes and the playlist just isn't there. But I never experienced that with RAQ the Barre. And so that was something else that really drew me in because I felt like I was really getting a total body workout. My mind was working out, my emotions were going, my body, all my muscles were working. And so I really felt like it was an embodied experience that I would love to be a part of. It was also one of the first workout methods that I could see myself teaching. And I've always been really interested in fitness and wellness. I also grew up figure skating. And so I was used to doing a lot of more of that gym training for my figure skating skills and strength. But again, I could never really see myself teaching some of those styles and formats. And so I think the fact that RAQ the Barre had that very, the marriage between dance and fitness and wellness and the strength and the grace is something that really drew me in. And so I became a certified instructor last year, or was it in 2019? 2020 is such a blur. I've been teaching this bar. I wasn't in such a blur. I'm like, when was this year? So I've been teaching now for over a year, pretty consistently. It's been really great to build up a community. I have students as young as 20 all the way through my mom's age and older. And so it's really great that you can have all these different groups of people in one class, different levels, but all getting an amazing workout for themselves and seeing them grow. There's nothing better than seeing a student who can't hold a side plank and then in 3 months, they're holding that side plank for 30 seconds and really nailing it. So that's been really rewarding as an instructor. And it's something that I really look forward to doing at night after my day job. It gets me up, moving, and out of the seat. And the community is also something really special about this program. I would say Soraya has been instrumental in helping me grow to become an instructor. A lot of my training was before we had this set in place instructor training. And so lots of my work was going to Soraya's classes, learning it through practicing it. And so that was also just the way that I really experienced, okay, once you have this class format, now I know that I can go into a class, change up my playlist, change up the bar exercises, and keep my students excited and challenged every single time, as well as my own body. Because as an instructor, you also want to make sure that you are surprising your body, you're staying interested in what you're doing. And so another thing I love about this program, whether you're a student or you envision yourself teaching it, is you can bring your own personality and your own background into the space because it allows for that level of flexibility within the format. So that's my little spiel. Soraya, let me know if I've missed anything or if you want me to cover anything else before we pass.
You know, I actually should add to that. She's absolutely right. I met Joelle when I was doing the live trainings prior to doing the virtual trainings. And my very first manual actually, Joelle was my model. And so she kind of learned this well before, anyone else in many ways, because she was my model. I have to send pictures for the manual. So we go way back, and it is really great to see how much progress. She's a brilliant teacher. And I should also answer, maybe if any of you have questions on how do you become a master trainer. Really, master trainers are just somebody that I pick usually that has shown me, not only their incredible knowledge in understanding this, but what Tyra actually helped me see in, now that we're in a digital world, is how can I support you better? And she had some great ideas on that, which would be maybe partnering up with someone else. So I'm not sure Teresa is on here also with Tyra. I'm not sure if you guys were in the same training, but a great idea she was suggesting was partnering up with another person that did the training with you, and really just kind of check in with you. How are you doing? How does this, wait, Soraya said this, did you hear that? Things like that. It's just another way to kind of support each other and to build the community. I absolutely love that idea. So definitely ask any questions in case we missed, but I thought I would let you know that. On that note, Tyra, I would love to introduce you.
Hello, everybody. Thank y'all for your presence, and thank you, Soraya, for having me on here, and Joelle for all you've done to support me also in becoming a Rock the Bar instructor. Again, I'm Tyra. I live in Tennessee, and I have taught fitness since 2007. And fitness and teaching dance go hand in hand for me, because I sort of started out with dance in a fitness setting. My dance style is African dance. I consider myself to be more of a fitness instructor, though people who take my African dance classes are like, no, she's a dancer too. But when it comes to training, I've trained more as a fitness instructor. But because of my passion for Afro dance, I was drawn to Rock the Bar. I knew within maybe 6 to 7 minutes of seeing Soraya speak at the World Bar Summit, had never seen her day in my life. I just felt this, I felt the energy of this format. And I thought I have to be a part of it, because something that's very similar between African dance and belly dance is they're very grounded. Just like what Joelle talked about, having the movement embodied and feeling it like we don't count in African dance, and because it's embodied. But the other fitness formats, my main format for the longest time has been Zumba. And then I've also taught water aerobics, which is something I wish I could teach all the time, as well as bar. And so when I found Rock the Bar at the World Bar Summit, I was pivoting away from Zumba. It's not that I don't like Zumba anymore, but I'm just at a point where my body needs something that's less cardio, more about the muscles. And that's how I got into teaching bar. I like the smaller movements, and how bar in general just makes me feel healed up. And the one thing that I began to realize very quickly with Rock the Bar that I need for African dance, because again, it's similar. It's not the same though. I'll tell anyone, it's very different. Soraya's been like, okay, I know this is this is how you move in African dance, but it looks like this in belly dance. So I come in as a newbie to belly dance. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud that I've taken the opportunity to learn something new. But what I'm getting from belly dance that I was not getting from African dance is working the hips, moving muscles, stretching them so that you can actually move, which translates into, just everyday world as, oh, I feel good. I don't have aches and I don't have pain. And that's what I love about both the belly dance technique combined with the bar. It's just, as I get older, I turned 50 last year. I just noticed I'm always tighter. And so I love when I don't do Rock the Bar, when I don't practice it, when I don't take classes with Soraya and, just the videos, practice with the videos, practice even just the drills that come with the training, I noticed that I have more pain. And when I do these moves, I don't. And also I'll just sit at my desk and just, this when I saw, yes, when I saw Soraya working her hands, I'm like, yes, I do that too. So Rock the Bar has actually saved me from fitness burnout because I was just not motivated to work out before I found Rock the Bar, even as a fitness instructor. And also, I decided I need to pivot away from high cardio, fitness formats and dance formats to something it makes me sweat, but it's not so much cardio. It's more about the muscle.
You know
And
what?
so,
Sorry,
go ahead.
But what I think is really worth noting is a lot of our students of Zumba or even your African dance classes will appreciate and benefit from this to enhance their own, like the full body rolls and the warm ups. By the way, Tyra dominates. I'm sorry, she's so good. She's like boom, she's so you can really. And by the way, there's so many similarities between African dance and belly dance. There really are. It's a little bit of a postural shifting, a little bit of shifting, but she's absolutely right. They're very grounded, really good for the body. Pelvic floor pulls up, abs in, really firing up those deep core muscles. Definitely so many similarities. And later on, Tyra, just like I really personally think this, I'm going to help her develop an African bar program as well.
Oh my gosh.
Because
I could do that. I could do that.
Of course you can, because there's room for everyone. I really do believe that. I think that our bodies need surprises and changes. But Tyra, can you share briefly how you prepared for the training so that you could prepare also to do your testing? Because I think that this is really a big question many have.
Okay. So let me just backtrack. I was burned out, but for me, bar always works with any other dance format. So Rock the Bar makes me better at African dance, makes me better even at Zumba fitness, anything. So you're absolutely right. They go so well together. In terms of preparing, when I took the training with Soraya, first and foremost, printing off the manual. I cannot overstate the importance of doing that, because what I did was, as Soraya taught us during the training, I took all kinds of notes in the manual. And I believed what she said when she said, I'm here for your success. And so I just said, you know what? I don't think that she's trying to nitpick. So I'm going to just do everything she says to do. And so when she said, you want to work to get the certification, because I knew I wanted the certification, get it within 3 months. I said, okay, that's what I'm going to do. So the first thing I did was, even before the training, she highly emphasized, study as much as you can, look at the manual and do some of the drills prior to coming to the training. So once we started with the training, like I said, I took notes. And then after the training, I just started going through all of the drills and taking there's 2 classes that are in the online course. I made sure I just kept rinsing and repeating those classes, because for me, the bar was easy because I've taught it for 2 years. It was the belly dance that I was most nervous about. So, but I think that it doesn't matter what your strength is, just as long as we get in there and see what is the format, because there's a definite system that we use. So then I just kept telling myself, okay, let me go on ahead and start crafting, because there's a sample class that she gives us. It's like an outline that you can use. And so as I will take the classes that were in the actual training, I would start noting, okay, well, for the warm-up part, the pre-bar part, I will do these movements. And then I would just turn on the music because she gives us some music to use. I would turn on the music and just practice like the pre-bar warm up and then the bar part, doing the drills over and over and over for the belly dance, because that's where I felt the least confident. And then I just sort of like would practice by turning on a camera and just looking at myself a little bit. And I really just told myself, I know I'm not going to be perfect, even though I consider myself to be a professional at teaching fitness. I had not taught in a year. Since the pandemic hit, I've not been confident enough to try to figure out this online format yet. So I just said, whatever, I'm just going to do my best. And I just kept practicing over and over, using the manual, using the workouts. And then I scheduled my time. Well, I recorded the video and sent it into Soraya. So my position after I recorded it and sent it in was this was the best thing I could do. I would never teach this format if I didn't go for the certification, because I wouldn't be pressuring myself to master it, because in having to figure out, okay, how do I teach A, or how do I teach, whatever it is I'm trying to figure out, it was like, okay, I've got to get this done for the video. And so I sent the video in, and Soraya and Joelle both gave me feedback, and it gave me so much clarity on exactly how to teach. I felt so happy to get the feedback, because I didn't find this class in person. I found it online. And so in order for it to make sense, I needed the feedback. And so it was the best thing that I could do. And I would recommend to anybody, if you really want to teach this format, go through the certification and push yourself a little bit to get it done, because it did stay fresher in my mind. And I feel more confident and actually plan on teaching online classes until we get live again. So you can tell me anything that you want to ask me. Or
I thought you did. I'm actually quite surprised that you're saying you hadn't been teaching online, because you were very good online.
Thank you.
So just
I taught a little bit online, but not much.
Yeah, but you're very good, very good. And part of the program is teaching you how to teach, and I will be expanding how to teach a little bit online, a little bit more, because I do realize this is going to be our new world. Just so you know, there is a rubric in there so that you can see when you're testing. It says, what are we looking for? What are some of your points that you, just to keep you on track, so you don't feel like you're doing too much. And Tyra, I actually think that moving forward, I'm going to suggest, because you have been so helpful for me as someone who's learning online, unlike Joelle. I do think that I'm going to break it into pre-bar. Maybe you test doing pre-bar, then do bar, then maybe do the mat series. I'm thinking that might take the stress off. This is something that I do feel will be a helpful solution, so that you're not like, oh my word, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Sorry, Tyra, if you're on the other end.
No, I think for me, it was okay, because I am a seasoned fitness instructor. And that's what you do. You do all of the parts. It was okay. But I do think it would take pressure off of other people, even if they're seasoned.
And Tara, really back to your point, is I do want you to be successful. I am not here to be going, show me. No, I'm not. I'm really not. I care too much about this, and everyone brings their strengths. I would say one of the biggest challenges, many who are don't have a background with belly dance, believe it or not, the hand undulations are really hard. They're really hard.
I believe it.
And if you don't have the hand undulations just yet, you don't have to add it into your class right away. You can focus on your strengths. I just want to see that you understand what the technique is. Piston hips are another one. Really coaching and cueing this can be a little bit tricky at first, and it can take time to find, but once you get it, Karen, by the way, is on here. Karen, oh my word. I remember when we were in belly dance class and we did piston hips, and I was like, you got it. It was so cool. So again, I am really hoping to see you successful. And the great thing about the virtual world is that you can submit on your, virtually, you can just send a video and things like that. Before I had done it, maybe I would just watch you. And I think that was almost more intimidating. So again, I'm looking for ways for people to feel as much at ease as possible. So that's fantastic. We did a really good job. We have 10 minutes, and I think I tried to really answer questions I felt like others might have, but I definitely want to open the floor to any questions. If you want to write it in the chat, or if you just want to chime in, that would be great. If there's anything you can think of that maybe other people might have a question on that maybe I didn't cover, even if you don't have the question for yourself, this is just a little bit of an opportunity. And again, I am recording this because I want to make sure that those who are watching it on replay can have an opportunity to have their questions answered as well. And I must have been really brilliant because I'm not seeing questions just yet. Do we? Or Tyra? Teresa? Yes.
Yeah, I do have a question. Tyra and I took the same class, and she jumped right in there and got certified, and that's great. And I have not yet, but I still want to. So my question is, do we send in a video and that's critiqued, or it's not like a Zoom type thing where I'm actually teaching somebody live? Is that correct?
So you can do it either way. But I'm thinking these days people are feeling a little more comfortable just sending a video. And so Teresa, if you want to send a video, just start off with the pre-bar. So when in your, in the course that's online, there towards the bottom, there's the rubric. So print that out and look at it and just say, oh yeah, that's what she's looking for. So that will kind of be helpful for you as well. And then, just take in pieces. Hey, sorry, I'm just going to do, and Teresa actually has a stronger background in belly dance technique. So maybe it'll be the bar for you that will be a little bit more, like.
It will. It'll be the strength part for me.
What, Teresa, that's the other thing too, is I want to meet everyone where they are, so if in fact, Paula, when she first started doing my classes, she couldn't hold the plank, do the plank series. She couldn't do it. She did not have the strength. And not that long ago, she said, Soraya, did you see I held my plank the whole time? You work where you are, and you will coach from where you are. You will say, I'm going to do on my knees or on the wall. If you would like to do your plank on the floor, make sure your ears and shoulders and hips are nicely aligned. Make sure your shoulder, elbow, you'll use that kind of language to cue them to make sure that they don't get hurt, So these are things that are all in the manual to remind you, and in the videos, just pay attention to the language I use, from the crown of your head through the tailbone, lengthen, so you can do things at the wall, because, this is how it is. Sometimes I've had to teach with injury, and that's how I do it. I just coach. In fact, it's very interesting when I teach my classes at the gym, I'm not doing it at all. I'm coaching. I'm entirely coaching. I'm just, cueing verbally. So that's where really paying attention to the cueing in the videos that you have, and really kind of inventorying what that means. It really means I'm trying to keep and from a belly dance perspective how important alignment is, right? Nice alignment. So really taking that into a prone position, face down, so that you're maintaining that alignment from that position. So it's really kind of taking the same thing. And, in fact, I don't know if you have a family member or somebody, you can video yourself coaching them. That's another option. I am going to eventually take this down the road, maybe. So it's a complete online training eventually, not now. And that's because there is an international interest in this. And part of what holds me back sometimes is I'm New England time, East Coast. But there's ways to help you find solution, because it's far more important to me to have quality, enthusiastic instructors than for you to feel like I'm not the type, or I'm not this, that's not what this is about. This is really about, seeing people be successful. you know, and that just is far more important to me, you know. And again, some will take this training for continuing education credits only. They will have no intention of teaching this. They just are like, oh, that was really cool, cool new stuff. Really liked it, you know. A lot of my fitness colleagues have done that. So Melissa, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. We can hear you, Melissa.
Sorry, I was talking to my son. I'm sorry. I didn't know if you can hear me or not.
Oh.
That's okay. I was actually just going to quickly add on to something Soraya, you and Tyra said. I also found it very helpful before, whether you're testing or before you teach your first class, write out your class plan. I know not everyone learns by writing, but I definitely, like, even though I had been taking Soraya's classes for 5 years before teaching it, you have a different mindset as a student than as a teacher. And so I found out that by writing out the pre-bar, the plank, writing all these things out and then finding variations. And then even I would quote those key words like staying stacked, rib, you know, hip to rib. I would like make those in big colors. And I would say, when you make your videos, when you test, don't be scared to have like a big piece of paper up by your camera that you can look at to cue, because sometimes that's what you'll need to have during your first classes. I remember when I first taught, my first class was last February in 2020, and I would keep my book open by the stereo. I was in a dance studio, so there is a bit more going on than in your typical gym. And if I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't remember, I would just go over to the music, act like I was turning it up, glance a little bit, get back on track. And then you'll notice after time, you don't even have to write it out anymore. You can just think in your mind, okay, like I know this song is what I want to use for my warm up. You can play around with it, improvise it on the spot, not improv as in I'm going to do whatever, but improv as in I know I have these 5 moves I want to cover in the first minute of my warm up. And then from there, it's really amazing how your mind will just think, okay, I know all these different variations, and I can just go to the bar and create a really great class for my students that are going to keep them, you know, working hard. So I'm a big fan of writing out your class and also speaking it to yourself. Because sometimes if you just say it, sometimes like before a class, I'll just record on my phone and say, you know, this is exactly what I want to do. Because even just saying it once before you're teaching it to someone else is going to help you. It's just going to help it sink into your mind and think about, oh yes, I know all these different ways to change up this exercise, no matter what level my students are at.
Excellent point. And when I present, by the way, I have a huge cheat sheet just off camera. It's actually harder when you're doing it live because you can't have that cheat sheet when you're presenting, I mean, but you're absolutely right. There is a cheat sheet in the manual. I don't know if you noticed it, to print it up, and by all means, keep it near you, peek at it, because, you know, it takes time. If any of us just got something right away out of the gate, well, I'd like to congratulate you, because most of us don't do it that way. You know what I mean? It takes, a lot of things take time. It takes definitely time to find where your strengths are. But those are really, really great tips, actually. I want
to say something really quickly that I decided just going to copycat. So I just looked through each video, keep it simple, Sam. How did Soraya, you know, do the plie? Just gonna do what she did for the test, especially. And I will say I took her class in January when she had the 21-day challenge. And so signing up for other classes with the other instructors is something I would recommend, because experiencing it as a student and just seeing the different ways, it just, I don't know, it just does something, I think, for the brain to wrap around what to do. But that was something else that Soraya said. Just keep it simple. You don't have to do anything. I can't remember, maybe it was one of the figure 8s. She was like, you don't actually do that one.
You don't have to. You don't have to. For example, like in the instructor training, we cover 3 essential layers, right? Those should be in your test, right? Those essential 3 layers, for sure, those should be. But really, you're right, Tyra. I think the best advice is really to really mimic maybe what the first one is. Keep in mind, once you pass, And say you do want to be certified and you do use our branding and so on and so forth. My job is to continue to support you and to continue to provide you more content. So now you can go, oh, okay, I'm kind of getting tired of that mat series. Let's try this mat series. You know what I mean? So you can continue to really just learn just more video content. If some people had questions on, I think, by the way, I want to, as I wrap it up, they had questions on specifically, okay, it's $100. I'm paying for the training. And by the way, right now it's listed at $179, I think it is. Does not include the bundle. You'll need to add that. These are some logistics. Once you have completed the training, and by the way, that includes a lot of great content for you that will last a long time. And then if you decide to do the $100, then that's where you get the rights to use the logo. You get the logo. I teach you how to use the logo for your branding and really just encourage you to find your bar tribe, find your audience. And then the other thing would be me just providing you additional content. That doesn't include, like, if you want to take my belly dance classes and things like that, that's not what, it doesn't include that. I will just give you access to a ton of more videos. In our Facebook group too, we like, oh, I really like this song. I used this song in my pre-bar. You know, oh, I really found this combination. It was kind of fun. It's really meant to be just an opportunity to support each other and not compete, because there's room for everyone. You know, there really is room for everyone. It's a huge world. And it's really just, to me, I mean, like Karen's on here at my bar tribe, what I would consider, it's really special. And sometimes I don't want it to grow too much because I just really like us. And that's not totally true. But I shouldn't say that I'm like going, taking away opportunities for myself. But I am going to expand and provide different, because I do realize that I do a lot of Facebook Lives. Those are a great way for me to help promote the brand, by the way, as well. But there is another online platform that will allow me to expand those who are not on the same time zone as I am. And for me, it's important to kind of get a little bit farther reach to help promote the brand. But yeah, so does this answer questions? Does this make sense? Anyone have any thoughts that they would like to add? Any concerns? Give it
I just wanted to say I really like breaking it up into little chunks and recording it and sending it in. That takes a lot of pressure off. I really like that.
Okay, that's really good to know. I really appreciate that, because again, it's been exactly a year, right? At least for me, as far as quarantine goes. And you know, I'm learning with you guys what's the best, you know, going from a live class to online. So this sounds, to me, this sounds fantastic. A great way for people to be successful. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I want to thank you, Joelle, Tyra, and I want to thank you who are part of watching this. I appreciate your time, and please continue to ask me any questions via email if you have any questions. I really hope that you will consider this instructor training and really finding your bar tribe of students who really need this. This is a wellness solution. I try to keep it all about wellness, hips, heart, and health. We just keep it as that. Ancient movement, modern day wellness. And thanks everyone. I appreciate it. And see you soon.